Tonight, we dive into a story that feels straight out of a Hollywood thriller, cutting-edge tech, global tension, and a high-stakes gamble. This is a tale where the line between science fiction and reality blurs, and the stakes couldn't be higher for the world's superpowers. At the center of it all is the B-21 Raider, America's newest stealth bomber, nicknamed the Ghost Bomber for its ability to slip through the skies unseen. This isn't just another plane, it's a marvel of engineering, designed to be nearly invisible to radar and enemy defenses. It represents a leap in military power, pushing the boundaries of what's possible in aerial warfare. The Ghost Bomber is more than just a weapon, it's a symbol. To some, it stands as a silent guardian, watching over the nation. To others, it's a potential threat, a reminder of the destructive power that lurks above. Its ability to strike anywhere on the planet undetected fundamentally changes the global balance of power. No adversary can ignore its presence, and no target is truly safe. When the world first caught a glimpse of the B-21, the images were nothing short of stunning. A sleek, dark triangle, futuristic and ominous, shrouded in secrecy and speculation. For US military planners, it's the ultimate insurance policy. With the Ghost Bomber, no target is out of reach, and America's strategic edge is sharper than ever. Its very existence is meant to deter adversaries, sending a clear message: don't start a fight you can't win. The threat alone is often enough to keep potential conflicts at bay, but on June 28, 2025, that deterrence was put to the ultimate test as the world watched with bated breath. Iran, a nation long at odds with the US, made a move that shocked the world and sent ripples through international corridors of power. They didn't just issue threats, they directly challenged American air superiority, putting their own forces on high alert and signaling their intent. This was no accident. It was a calculated message to Washington and beyond, a bold statement that Iran would not back down. Iran declared it would not be intimidated by America's new ghost in the sky, vowing to defend its airspace at any cost. Why risk a confrontation with the world's most advanced bomber? What could Iran hope to gain from such a dangerous gamble? The world was left searching for answers. It's a showdown, advanced technology versus defiant nationalism, with global stakes and the potential to reshape the future of conflict. Tonight we break down the event, the reactions, and what this means for the future of warfare. Stay with us as we unravel the story behind America's ghost in the sky, and the world's response to its silent power. What is the Ghost Bomber and why does it matter? The B-21 Raider is nearly impossible to detect. Think of it as a whisper in a hurricane. Its shape, materials, and coatings absorb or deflect radar, making it vanish from enemy screens. Unlike older bombers, it flies solo, deep into enemy territory, carrying both conventional and nuclear weapons. It's not just stealthy, it's a flying supercomputer packed with sensors and real-time communication systems. The B-21 can coordinate attacks, gather intelligence, and act as a command hub, all while remaining unseen. This one-sided information advantage is a massive edge in any conflict. The Ghost Bomber gives the US the power to hold any target on Earth at risk, anytime. Its very existence is meant to deter adversaries from even considering a major conflict. This is the technological marvel Iran chose to challenge, leaving the world on edge. The confrontation didn't happen overnight. Tensions had been simmering for months, with both sides watching each other's moves closely, waiting for the other to make the first mistake. As the US began B-21 training missions near the Persian Gulf, Iran issued strong warnings. Any unauthorized entry would be met with force. The message was clear. Iran would not tolerate what it saw as provocations so close to its borders. Many saw this as routine posturing, until Iran took real action. Suddenly the world realized this was more than just words, it was a genuine test of resolve. For Tehran it was about pride and sovereignty, showing strength to its people and allies. The government wanted to prove it could stand up to a superpower and defend its territory. Challenging the Ghost Bomber sent a message: Iran won't be intimidated no matter the tech gap. The B-21, shrouded in secrecy, represented the pinnacle of US air power, but Iran was determined to show it could not be easily outmatched. But there was strategy too. Iran has invested heavily in air defense and electronic warfare, hoping to detect or disrupt the B-21. These efforts were not just for show, they were part of a broader plan to level the playing field. Proving they could see the unseeable would be a propaganda coup and a boost for their defense industry. Success here would inspire confidence at home and send a message to adversaries abroad. This was a calculated risk, not a rogue move. Every step was carefully weighed by Iran's top military and political leaders who understood the stakes. Iran moved advanced radars to the coast, put its forces on high alert, and waited. The entire region braced for what might come next. They were betting everything on exposing the ghost. If they succeeded, it would be a turning point in the balance of power. It was a deliberate, high-stakes play from the top levels of government. The world's eyes were fixed on Tehran, waiting to see if their gamble would pay off. The world watched as Iran drew a line in the sand, not with words, but with military hardware. The message was unmistakable. Iran was ready to defend its interests, whatever the cost. The stage was set for a direct challenge to American air dominance. Both sides prepared for a confrontation that could reshape the region's security landscape. The question, would the gamble pay off or backfire spectacularly? The answer would soon echo far beyond the Persian Gulf. The incident unfolded on a clear night over the Persian Gulf. A lone B-21 was on a routine mission, flying high and confident in its stealth. Suddenly, its sensors picked up multiple overlapping radar beams, an aggressive attempt to find it. Iranian state media quickly claimed they'd detected a hostile aircraft. The trap was sprung. Iran was trying to force the ghost bomber into the open. The Pentagon insists the B-21 was never detected and completed its mission without incident. But intelligence sources suggest Iran used low-frequency radar and passive detection, possibly catching a faint trace. Iranian fighter jets scrambled, searching for the ghost in the sky. The B-21 crew used electronic warfare to confuse sensors, staying hidden. For tense minutes, both sides shared the same airspace, one hunting, one evading. In the end, the Iranian jets found nothing and returned to base. After the tense encounter, both sides raced to control the story, knowing that public perception could shape the outcome as much as the facts themselves. Iran quickly claimed victory, releasing ambiguous radar footage and declaring that America's ultimate weapon was not invincible after all. Their officials stood before the cameras, confident, suggesting they had pierced the veil of US stealth technology. The message was clear. Iran's defenses are strong and the US can be challenged even in the skies where it once reigned supreme. The display of missile systems was meant to reinforce this newfound confidence. The Pentagon, however, quickly denied everything, insisting the B-21 was never detected or threatened at any point during the mission. US officials dismissed Iran's claims as propaganda, refusing to share any mission details or evidence that could validate or refute the story. Behind the scenes, US analysts scoured every piece of data, satellite imagery and electronic signals, trying to determine what Iran actually saw, if anything at all. Even a faint detection is cause for concern. It suggests Iran's technology, possibly aided by Russian or Chinese expertise, is advancing faster than anticipated, narrowing the gap in electronic warfare. The incident triggered a quiet but urgent review of B-21 tactics and stealth protocols, as commanders sought to ensure future missions would remain undetectable. For Iran, the public declaration was a strategic win, forcing the US to respond and sowing doubt about the bomber's invincibility, both at home and abroad. In the information war, perception is everything. The story spread rapidly, amplified by global media and social networks. Whether Iran's claims are true or not, they boldly challenged the myth of the ghost bomber. The world took notice. And military analysts everywhere began to question what really happened. The narrative battle was as fierce as the one in the sky, with each side fighting to shape the legacy of this high-stakes encounter. Iran's challenge was a massive gamble, with risks on every front. If they'd fired on the B-21, it could have triggered war, one Iran couldn't win. By activating their best radars, Iran may have revealed their secrets to US intelligence. The B-21 likely mapped every radar and signal, giving the US a blueprint for future strikes. Iran's short-term propaganda win could mean long-term vulnerability. Diplomatically, the move could backfire, making Iran look reckless and isolating it further. Many nations may now see Iran as a destabilizing force, pushing them closer to the US. The provocation could also bring more American military presence to the region. Instead of pushing the US away, Iran may have drawn more attention and more advanced hardware to its doorstep. The cycle of escalation is dangerous, with each side raising the stakes. Iran risked its standing, security, and future for a moment of defiance. The consequences could be far-reaching. The fallout is real for both sides. For the US, The B-21's aura of invincibility is now in question. If Iran can claim to detect it, others, like Russia and China, will double down on counter-stealth tech. The Pentagon faces pressure to upgrade the bomber, at great cost. For Iran, the price is even steeper. They've painted a bigger target on themselves, inviting more US intelligence and scrutiny. By revealing their capabilities, they've given the US a problem to solve. And America excels at solving military problems. Iran's moment of glory could lead to its own strategic downfall. The next generation of US weapons will be designed with Iran's systems in mind. A single propaganda win may have handed their adversary the keys to future victory. The stakes of this gamble are only beginning to unfold. The world watched the Gulf incident with a mix of alarm and intrigue. US allies voiced support, but privately wondered about Iran's tech. Russia and China seized the moment, highlighting cracks in American dominance. They'll likely help Iran improve, fueling the global arms race. In the Middle East, US partners grew anxious. Any sign of weakness is a threat to their security. The incident could spark more military spending and a regional arms race. International bodies called for calm, but their influence is limited. The event exposed the fragility of peace when powerful nations test each other's limits. The world was reminded high-tech warfare is a real, ever-present danger. Everyone held their breath, hoping this spark wouldn't ignite a larger fire. When the dust settles, one lesson stands out. Military provocation in the modern era is dangerously unpredictable. A routine mission can escalate into a global crisis in minutes. Technology alone doesn't guarantee security. Strategy and nerve still matter. Even a superpower can be challenged by a determined adversary with clever tactics. For Iran, the risk of provoking the US may outweigh any short-term gain. Exposing their best tricks could leave them more vulnerable than ever. The future of warfare will be fought in the shadows with data and algorithms as much as bombs. This incident pulled back the curtain on that future, one where conflict can erupt in an instant. The need for clear communication and de-escalation has never been greater. In the high-stakes game between ghosts and giants, everyone stands to lose.